When the Great Spirit created the world, humans lived in harmony with all living things. They traveled from place to place, following the herds of animals and foraging for food. But as time went on, the humans began to settle down in one place for longer periods of time. They needed somewhere safe to sleep at night and somewhere to hide from the harsh weather. So that's when our ancestors started building shelters, experimenting with different materials to keep safe from predators and the elements. In this story, we will go back in time and explore how prehistoric people first discovered the concept of building shelters from natural materials. Let's start with the basics. Humans were drawn to areas with an abundance of resources such as wood, clay, rocks, and foliage. These materials provided the essential components for creating shelters. Using stone tools, they would cut down trees and remove the branches. The trunks were then dragged to their desired location and set up as the main structure of their shelters. If wood was scarce, they used large stones or clay bricks as the main building block. Each rock monolith served as a standalone shelter, offering a small space to curl up in and sleep. Our ancestors had observed how animals used caves and hollowed-out logs for protection. Inspired by these examples, humans began experimenting with making their own artificial caves and shelters within trees. This led to the discovery of caves, which offered a more spacious and secure dwelling place. Early humans recognized the advantages of caves. They provided protection from predators, extreme weather, and could easily be made into cozy homes with just a few modifications. Some caves even had permanent sources of water nearby, providing easy access to this precious resource. For example, the famous Lascaux cave in France contains some of the earliest evidence of human habitation. This cave was occupied by early humans for several thousand years during the Upper Paleolithic period, between 40,000 and 10,000 years ago. Evidence suggests that our ancestors decorated the cave walls with paintings of animals and other important symbols, indicating that they used the space for religious ceremonies in addition to shelter. During the warmer months, some groups chose to live outside of caves and instead built temporary shelters using branches, grasses, and animal hides. As the seasons changed, they moved to new locations, following the food supply and the weather. During the colder months, they would seek out caves or build more substantial shelters to protect themselves from the freezing temperatures. Over time, humans continued to experiment with different types of shelters. They learned to build structures using natural materials such as wood, clay, and stone. They constructed wigwams, which were dome-shaped huts made of wood and covered with bark or leaves. They also built wattle and daub houses, which consisted of a wooden frame filled with mud and thatch. The development of agriculture allowed humans to settle in one place permanently and led to more permanent types of housing. People built houses using bricks and stone. The ancient Egyptians developed a unique type of mud brick, which they used to construct large and impressive structures like the pyramids. The Greeks and Romans built houses using stone and marble. They developed advanced architectural techniques like the arch and the dome, which allowed them to construct large buildings with complex designs. During the Middle Ages, people in Europe built houses using timber and wattle and daub. The wealthy had stone houses with multiple rooms, while the poor lived in small huts made of wood and thatch. In the 18th and 19th centuries, people in Europe and North America built houses using brick and stone. They developed new types of windows and doors, which allowed for more natural light and ventilation. Today, there are many different types of houses. People build houses using concrete, steel, and glass. They use advanced technology to create buildings with multiple floors, including elevators and other amenities. The most common material for building houses is wood. Wood is a versatile material that can be used to build houses in a variety of styles. It's also a renewable resource, meaning that new trees can be planted to replace those that are used for lumber. One of the oldest known wooden houses was the Neolithic house in Turkey. It was built around 7500 BC and is one of the oldest known buildings in the world. Another famous wooden house is the House of the Oy Reed in Ireland. It was built in the 15th century and is one of the best preserved medieval houses in Europe. The second most common material for building houses is brick. Brick is a hard, durable material that can last for centuries. It is also fireproof and resistant to insects and rodents. One of the oldest known brick houses was the Ziggurat of Ur in Mesopotamia. It was built around 2100 BC and is one of the oldest known examples of monumental architecture. Another famous brick house is the Taj Mahal in India. It was built in the 17th century and is one of the most beautiful examples of Mughal architecture. The third most common material for building houses is stone. Stone is a very durable material that can last for thousands of years. It is also resistant to fire, insects, and rodents. One of the oldest known stone houses was the Stonehenge in England. It was built around 3000 BC and is one of the oldest known examples of prehistoric architecture. Another famous stone house is the Colosseum in Italy. It was built in the 1st century AD and is one of the most iconic examples of Roman architecture. The fourth most common material for building houses is concrete. Concrete is a mixture of cement, sand, gravel, and water. It is a very versatile material that can be used to build houses in a variety of styles. One of the oldest known concrete houses was the Pantheon in Rome. It was built in the 2nd century AD and is one of the best preserved ancient Roman buildings. Another famous concrete house is the Empire State Building in New York City. It was built in the 1930s and is one of the most famous skyscrapers in the world. As time passed, humans kept improving and innovating their shelter designs. The need for protection from the elements, predators, and the desire for a comfortable and safe place to live has always been a driving force behind the evolution of shelters. From simple caves to modern apartments, the journey of shelter is a testament to the creativity, ingenuity, and resourcefulness of humans throughout history. And with that ends our story about how prehistoric people first discovered the concept of building shelters. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like button below the video to get notified every time we upload a new video. Thanks for watching.